Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel AlgoTrader. As part of Python learning series, we learned till functions. Today we will learn more on functions with some practical implementations of some data structures like stack and queue. The agenda for today is what is stack. We'll see what are the operations of stack. Then we'll see how to implement stack in Python. Similarly, we'll learn what is queue, then what are the operations of queue. Then we'll try to code implementation of queue using Python language. What is stack? Stack is a linear data structure which follows a particular order in which the operations are performed. So the order can be last in, first out, or you may call it first in, last out. For example, a stack of rings. Most of you might have seen this while your kids playing at your home. Have you ever observed the rules of stack? If you observe this, what is happening? You can push the items only from one end. It's not open from both the ends, right? In this case, the first ring that you have pushed onto the stack is blue ring. After that, light blue, then yellow, then orange, and then red. So the last item pushed onto the stack is the red ring. So which ring you can remove first now? You cannot remove blue, yellow or orange, correct? You can only pop the top item from the stack, that is red ring. So the rule here is the item pushed last can be popped out first, or the item pushed first can be popped out last. So what are the operations supported by stack? The main operations are push and pop. Push means we are going to add or insert a new element onto the top of the stack. Pop means we are removing the top element from the stack. Here we can see a diagram. If you look at the stack on left side, we have 4 elements already in the stack: A, B, C, D. So to denote the top element of the stack, we need to maintain some pointer. Let's assume in this case we are calling the pointer as top. Top is pointing to D on the left hand side because the current elements in the stack are A, B, C and D, and the top element is D. So the top should always point to the top of the stack. Now we are going to insert a new element E. So how can we do? We need to move the top pointer one level up and there insert the new element E. Now the top has become E. Earlier it was D. And how do we go with pop operation? That means removing the top element from the stack. If you see the diagram on the right hand side, initially we have 5 elements in the stack: A, B, C, D, E, and the top is pointing to E, which is top. How do we pop element from the stack? We have to remove the top element from the stack, that is E. After removing the top element from the stack, you have to move the pointer top to one level below, which is now pointing at D. This is how push and pop operations to be performed on a stack. I hope you have understood the concept of stack and its operations and rules. Now we are going to implement the stack in Python. Okay, let's create a new file. I'm saving this file as stack. You can name it to anything you want. Stack.py. Okay, we are going to add the code in this file stack.py. Okay, before adding the code, I just want to explain you one thing here. While implementing the stack, you are going to store the elements in some data type, correct? So the data type we are going to use is array or list. I already explained that what is an array or list in the previous tutorial, but again I am repeating. So when you are going to store elements into an array or list, how exactly the elements are indexed? Generally, if you take any array as shown in this picture, the array size here is 10. Okay, but the first element is inserted at index 0. The index always starts from 0. not from 1. Since the index always starts from 0, in this case, for a length 10, the last index will be 9. So the total elements in the array is 10, starting from 0 to 9. Okay? Please note that. Now, coming to the implementation part, we have created a new file, called it as stack.py. So the operations we are going to implement here are push and pop. Along with push and pop, we also need some other operation, like if the stack is empty, right? You cannot pop any element from the stack. You should return some error or you should return nothing. Similarly, if the stack is full, you cannot add a new element onto the stack. In that case also you have to throw some error or you do nothing, correct? In this case, in this example, we are going to use a finite size of stack. That means the size of the stack is limited. Let's assume the max size as 10. Okay, I just declared a variable called max size and assigned a value to 10. So we are going to store only 10 elements in the stack. If you trying to add a new element after 10, that is 11th element, we are going to throw an error or you do nothing. Okay. So as we discussed, we need to have some data type to store the elements. Correct? Let's call that variable as stack. I am initializing with an empty array or list. So here what I am going to do is I am going to initialize this array with all none values and the size is max underscore size. So this is how you can create a finite array by initializing all its values to some values here. If you put 0 here, all the 10 elements of the array will be initialized to 0. In this case, I am just using none. So all the elements of the array stack will be initialized with value none. And the size of the stack in this case is 10, where we define inside this max size variable. Along with stack, we also need to maintain one more thing. That is a pointer to denote the top of the stack. Let's assume the pointer is top in this case. So we initialize that with -1. As we discussed, the first element in the array starts with 0. When there are no elements on the stack, the top is pointing to nothing, correct? So let's initialize the top to -1. Whenever we are going to add a new element, what we'll do, we increment the top, that is top plus 1, then we'll add a new element onto the stack, right? So what are the basic operations in the stack? That is push. Let's write functions for push and pop operation. So when we do a push operation, so this function will take some input argument. So what is that input argument? Assume we are going to store some numbers onto the stack. Okay, some number. Okay, I am taking the input as number. Now what I will do, I will increment top plus 1. Sorry. Okay, then I am going to add the new element passed to this function onto the top location, that is stack of top equal to num. So what exactly here we are doing? Let me repeat. We are going to create a function with name push that takes input argument some number. This function will insert a new element or number at the top of the stack. So currently the top is pointing to some top element, right? So we need to move the top position one level up. That means we are doing top equal top plus 1 here, and after incrementing the top, we are doing this stack of top equal number. Initially there are no elements on the stack. correct? So the top is minus 1. When you insert a first element, this will become minus 1 plus 1 will become 0. That is stack of 0 equal the new number. That means you are going to insert the first element at the index 0 in the array stack. Okay. Similarly, we will implement the pop operation. So what is the pop operation? Pop operation is a function again here which does not take any arguments. It just returns the top of the stack after removing it from the top. So what we need to do in this function pop, we need to store the top element. Let's say I am calling the top element equal to stack of top. Okay, first you get the top element of the stack and storing some other variable top element here. Okay, now what we need to do is reduce the top pointer by 1. That means we have removed one element and decrementing the top by 1. Now where is the top element? The pop operation actually returns the top element after removing it. So this is the top element we are returning from the pop function. Okay, so let's call push and pop functions from our code. Let me push, let's say 10 element, push 20, push 30, then I'm calling pop, just pop operation. So first calling push with element 10, that means number 10. So the number 10 will be pushed onto the 0th index of the array stack. When I call 20, right? When I call push 20, so at this point of time, the top is already at index 0, right? Now I'm incrementing the top by 1, that means 0 plus 1. The top will become 1. Stack of 1 will become what are the number given, in this case 20. So stack of 0 will be 10, stack of 1 will be 20. When you call push again third time with the number 30, at this point the top is pointing to the index 1, right? Now 1 plus 1, what will be? It will become 2. Stack of 2 will be the number given, that is in this case 30. So after these three operations, it will be like stack of 0, 10, comma stack of 1, 20, comma stack of 2, 30. It will look like this. The internal data will look like this. And when we call pop operation after the three push operations, what we are going to do is when we call pop method, we are actually storing the top element from the stack. So where the top is pointing to 2 after this 17th line. That means stack of 2, that is nothing but 30. If you look at the here, this one, stack of 2 is 30, right? So we are storing top element, that is stack of 2, in top element, that is 30. After that we are decrementing top by 1, that is top minus 1. Top will point to index 1 now. Then we are returning the top element, that is nothing but we have stored 30 here and we are just returning the 30 value from here. So now what is the value of top after this operation? The value of top index is 1. That means we are having only 0 and 1. We don't care about what is there in the second position because now our stack size has become 2 after this pop operation. Correct? One thing I forgot to tell you that here we have declared the variable stack and top as a global variable and we are using them inside push and pop functions. When the interpreter tries to execute the code at this line top, it expects this top should be a local variable. But here no, we have not declared any local variable with name top inside this push function. We are trying to use the top variable of global one, this one, right? So here we need to add the code global top. That means we are going to use the top as a global variable, not local. Similarly, we have to write global stack. Again, in this function, we need to write global top, same global stack. So you will not get any error in this case. Let's write some function to display the elements of the stack at any point. After push operation or pop operation, I'm going to write some function like, let's say, display. So what this function does, it will print the elements of the stack. Okay. Again, the top is from global. Similarly, stack is also from global. Now let me initialize I equal to 0. That means we are starting from the index 0 of the stack. I'm using while loop here. I less than or equal to top. We are going to print elements from 0th index till the index top. That means the entire stack we are going to print. Let me add, just print the element I here. Okay. And then do, I equal to I plus 1. So inside this while loop, we are printing the stack of I. The element at index I on the stack we are going to print. Then we are incrementing the index I plus 1 till we reach the top. Let's say there are two elements in the stack, 0 and 1 will print. The elements at 0 and index 1. This is how. Let me write one more line here so that it will be clear while printing. Current stack. I'm just putting this. Okay. See, after 3 push operations, if I call display function, it should print 1023. Correct? Now, okay, let us run this. Py, and the file name is stack.py. See, the current stack printed 10, 20, 30. Correct? So 3 elements printed. We push 10, 20, 30. Correct? After one pop operation, if I call the display function again here, the second time, I'm saving the file and trying to run the program again. So what happened? Earlier it was 10, 20, 30, and now the stack contains 10 and 20 because after a pop operation we have removed the top element from the stack, that is 30. In this case we decremented the index top by 1. So the top points to index 1 now. So here we printed only 10 and 20. If you call pop one more time, okay, and call display. Now what should happen? One more item from the stack should be removed, that is 20, and it should display only 10 after this line. Let's save it and try to execute. Okay, done. See, initially 10, 20, 30 were there, 10, 20, and now only 10. Now let's do one more thing. Let's call push 40, whatever number, okay? Push 60. And I'm calling display function again. So before this pushing 40, the stack contains only one element, that is 10. That means after 10, 40 will be pushed, then 60 should be pushed. If I'm calling the display function, now it should print 10, 40 and 60. Let's see if it prints as expected or not. I'm clearing this. Let's run the program. Look at this. So the last display printed 10, 40, 60 as expected, right? I hope you got it right, how the stack operations is being performed when you do multiple operations of push pop like this. Okay, now let's try to do some error handling. As we discussed earlier, we are maintaining a stack of finite size, that means limited size. We are not going to have a stack of unlimited or infinite size, right? So in this case, what will happen if somebody tries to push a new element after the stack is full? You have to throw some error, or you have to handle the situation, right? That means that is a error handling we need to do. So what are the possible scenarios where the error can occur while doing operations on the stack? One is if the stack is full and you are trying to add a new element. Another thing is if the stack is empty and you are trying to pop an element from the stack. You cannot remove an element, right, if there are no elements in the stack. So let's implement those two functions is empty. Okay, and this is from global. Top variable we are taking from the global. Okay, when the stack is empty, simple. If top equal -1, that means stack is empty. We are returning true. Else we return false. Okay. Similarly, let's write is full. If the stack is full, so what will happen? So when exactly the stack will be full? If the top reaches the max size, that means when the last index, that means the top is equal to 9, that means 10 minus 1. I told you, right, the array actually starts from 0, not from 1. So in this case, when it is max size minus 1, that means top equal 9. Let me write double equal for comparison here. That means stack is full. So return true. Yes, return false. Okay. Let's call, let me remove all this code till here. Let us print only 3 numbers, and I'm trying to print something like is empty, is empty. I'm calling this function here. Another thing is full. Let's run this. Okay. See, the elements printed 10, 20, 30. Is empty returned false. The stack is not empty because 10, 23 elements are there. Is full, it's also false because stack has not yet reached to its max size, that is 10. Only 3 elements we have. Let me move this line to here. Okay. Before pushing any element, the stack is empty here, correct? Let's run the program now. See, before pushing any element onto the stack, if we try to print is empty, that is true. Yes, the stack is empty now. After 3 elements, is it full? False. No, right? Let us do one thing. For D, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, one more. So lost. Now we are going to push 10 elements onto the stack and display. Then we'll call the isFull function. Let's see if it is returning true or false. Let's run the program. See, we have pushed 10 elements onto the stack and see, it is returned true because the stack is full. So what will happen if we try to push, let us say 110. The stack is already full, but the size for the array we declared as 10 max. So what will happen? Let's print and see. I am trying to push one more element. after 10 elements. See what happened. Till now the program executed properly, no issues. But here you got some error, correct? That is assignment index out of range. This exception came. So this is the error case. So how do we handle in the code itself? Otherwise your program will crash, or something weird things may happen if you don't handle the things properly. Correct? Okay. Now to do this, what we'll do, while pushing, so we are calling the push function right here while pushing 110 here. So what I'm going to do is inside push, before actually incrementing the top or pushing the element, I am checking if is full. If the stack is full, I'm going to print something. For simplicity, stack is full, cannot add new elements. I'm just printing. I just return here nothing. I'm not going to do these two operations here because stack is already full. If we try to do this operation, stack of top, let's say 10th index, that is 11th element, then we'll get the error as you saw on the screen. So now, since we added this condition here, error condition, if the stack is full, we are not going to do anything, just printing this message as stack is full. I'm saving the file. Let's run the program, clear the screen, then run it. See what happened. So in this case, our app has not crashed because we properly handled the error. After 10 elements pushed onto the stack, if you are trying to push the 11th element, see the message, what you see, stack is full, cannot add new elements. Correct? Similarly, let's do one thing here. Before pushing any element, I'm calling pop. There are no elements onto the stack, and again I'm trying pop function here. What will happen inside pop? It's trying to get the element stack at -1. So stack of -1 is invalid. You should get ideally some error, correct? Let me save this and try to run the program now. No error, is empty, false. Okay, I think this Python interpreter is not giving an error even if you call stack of -1. Okay, that's good to know, but despite that, we have to handle the error case properly. Okay, before doing any pop operation, what do you check here is empty. Okay, so I'm going to write, I'm going to print some message, stack is empty, cannot pop any element, is empty. If the stack is empty, I'm just printing this, I'm doing nothing, just returning from here. Okay, let's save this. See, stack is empty, cannot pop any element from the stack. That's it. Great. I hope you have understood the stack operations and how to implement it in Python along with error handling cases. Now we'll see what is queue. If I read the definition of the queue, it is also an abstract data structure somewhat similar to stacks. The difference between queue and stack is not open on both sides. You can insert or remove elements only from one side. But in case of queue, it's open on both ends. From one side you have to add item and from another side you have to remove the item. The rule of the queue is first in, first out. Whereas in stack, it was last in, first out. There are so many real life examples, like you're standing in a queue while paying the bills in the supermarket, while collecting the tickets at cinema halls, or if you see the vehicles going in one after another at the toll gate. So whatever the vehicle entered first will be come out first. So that is queue. It's normal queue. Okay. What are the operations of queue? Enqueue, adding an element to the queue, and dequeue, remove an item from the queue. That's it. how the NQ operation looks like. If you see this picture, Q has two pointers. Unlike stack. Stack has only one pointer, right? That is top. But in case of Q, you have two pointers, that is front and rear. When you add an element to the Q, you add an element to the rear of the Q. And when you remove the element from the Q, that is DQ from the Q, you DQ from the front, correct? So we have three elements A, B, C in the Q. A first, then B, then C. Now if you want to NQ element D into the Q, then you have to add at the rear. That means the rear currently pointing at C. Okay, you move the rear to the left side and there you insert new element D. That's how the NQ operation works. Similarly, if you look at the DQ operation, you have four elements in the Q before A, B, C, D. A is front and D is rear. So while DQing element from the Q, you have to DQ from the front. So at front what we have? A. So DQ A from the Q and then move the front to B. Next time if you are DQing from the Q, the element will come out will be B. Okay, what about the implementation part of the Q? This time I am not going to implement Q. I am leaving it to you guys for practice. First, try to understand how to code the stack implementation and do it on your own, and then try to implement Q. The difference here is in case of stack you have only one pointer, that is top, but in Q you have two pointers, front and rear. You have to increment or decrement front and rear indexes accordingly while NQing and DQing. So the operation you will be having in Q are NQ, that's you want to write function for NQ which takes some element, and you need to write a function for DQ which will DQ an element and return that element. And other things you can also check is empty or is full functions if required. Along with that you need to maintain two indexes, that is front and rear, along with the Q data structure, that is an array or list. Again you can maintain a max size. If the Q is full, you can not insert any new elements into the Q. Okay, try on your own. I will try to implement that Q part in the next session, but before my next video I expect you guys to try it on your own. Let's see how many of you can actually implement the Q in Python language. Thank you very much. Bye bye.